think will happen next? Okay, so look up at me when you're done. If there's a tricky word, don't forget to write it down. Go. If you're not sure, write it down. So you read about ant and you read about grasshopper. What happened in this part of the story?
Then the ant was getting ready for the winter that was coming.
The ant was getting ready for the winter that was coming. What details in the story told you he was getting ready for the winter? Nathaniel, what told you what did he do to get ready for the winter? What details told you? He was gathering seeds. What else was he doing, Miranda? And gathering leaves. Why would he gather leaves and seeds? Were you thinking about that?
Because he might get hungry.
He might get hungry in the winter, Natalie? What were you thinking? Was he doing anything else? I like how Natalie's going right back to the text and looking if there's another detail that we missed. That's good. What good readers do. They go look for good details.
Gathering seeds beside his house.
So she was gathering. He or she.
He.
Or is it a he or she?
She.
It's a she because it tells us it's a she. She was gathering those seeds and leaves and carrying them back to their house to prepare for the winter. What season was it right now?
Spring.
Go read that first sentence and see if you can find the season it was. It was not spring. Don't shout it out. This is the word that tells us what season. What's another?
Oh, I know that word.
So now you know what it is. It talks about the season because the season is autumn. Do you know what another word for autumn is? This season. Sometimes, what season is that?
Fall.
Fall. So they're in what season?
Fall.
Fall or autumn. Sometimes authors use the word autumn. It's kind of a nice word to use, isn't it? Or fall when we read. So, but if you were thinking about the season, and that's the season that comes right before winter. So grasshopper, what was grasshopper doing? Tell me some details.
He was walking the other way.
What does that mean? He was walking the other way. He was walking backwards. Does it tell us that? He was going backwards and forwards. What was he doing? Was he working hard like ant?
No.
So what was he doing?
He was running.
So when the author says, I'm sorry, say that again?
Through the long grass.
He was running back and forwards through the long grass. And he just watched him, huh? So.
That's kind of rude.
That's kind of what?
Rude, because he's just watching him do the work. And
you thinking about that? Look, this is kind of rude. You're just watching Ant do all the work. So did you make a prediction? What do you think is going to happen next?
I think he's going to help him.
Who's going to help him?
Grasshopper.
You think Grasshopper will help?
Ant.
Okay, who else has a prediction? Yes.
I think the grasshopper will not help Ant because he just likes to dance because it's said in the story.
Because it said in the story, he really likes to have fun and he's not a hard worker, so he's not going to help. What do you think?
I think the grasshopper is going to ask him if he can help and he'll say sure.
So she predicts, I love your sentence, she said, I predict that the grasshopper is going to ask Ant if he can help, and Ant will say, sure. So you ready to find out if that's true? Let's see whose prediction is correct. Tell me some details that tell you more about Ant first. What other details did you find out about Ant? Tell me.
Ant was starting to be this hot grasshopper because he called him, you are a very foolish creature. Me too.
Are you thinking that Ant's starting to become a little bit mean or rude? Because now he says, you are a very foolish creature. What does foolish mean? I'm just thinking about that word foolish. Like you're, what? I'm not thinking mean. He's telling Grasshopper, you are a very foolish creature. What's he really mean to tell Grasshopper? He's not out there gathering his food for the winter, so he's not very
helpful.
I was thinking more like he was not very smart. Because what's going to happen to Grasshopper in the winter?
He's going to be starving.
He might be starving. He might not have any food. What? You think Ant is right? Yeah. That he might be foolish? Okay. So tell me more about Grasshopper. Are there any other details that tell you about Grasshopper? Go look at page 7. There's some details. Some actions, thoughts, or feelings that Grasshopper did.
I want Grasshopper.
Keep your thinking right here for just a minute. In that very first sentence, it tells us a action or a thought, kind of, about Grasshopper. Miranda? He kept dancing and singing his favorite songs, so he really didn't what? He didn't listen, he didn't care. What other action, thought, or feeling?
The grasshopper didn't pay attention to little ant.
He ignored him. He thought, oh, you're not, what you said, what you told me isn't true. So you're telling us he's just ignoring it, not paying attention. There was some talking that he did. Tell me find the detail that told you some talking that Grasshopper did. What's he say?
The wise little ant?
But what talking did Grasshopper do that told us about his character? There's some talking. On the second sentence. Let's read it.
You are just wasting your time.
You are just wasting your time. His talking is telling us that he's not listening, he's not paying attention. He's thinking what Ant's saying is not really true. You ready to find out to read the next? All right, this last page we're going to read together today. Well, actually, read this page very quickly and get ready to talk about it and tell me the details about what happened. Go. Page, because now we're not out in the winter snow, are we? Think about how the settings changed. This time I want you to read this page.
They have a lot of things.
Listen, read and find the details that tell how these ants survived. Find the details from the story that tell how the ants survived. All right, so tell me the details that tell how they survived. Natalie, tell me one.
They were eating seeds.
So they ate some of the seeds that they had gathered. What else did they do, Miranda?
They were staying nice and warm during all the leaves.
They were staying nice and warm in all the leaves they had gathered. So those are two things that they did that prepared them to survive, isn't it? Okay, last page, take a look, because now it's Grasshopper out in that winter snow. This time, you're going to read this page, and when you're done, I want you to write your prediction about what you think is going to happen at the end of the story. Before you read, just hold on, Natalie. I'm going to put this right here. Take your Post-it, the new Post-it I gave you, put it right there, and write your prediction about when you're done, and then I'm going to come back and check in on that prediction, okay? So don't go away. Oh, don't put it on your words, put it on the other page so you can write what you think is going to happen next, and then I'll come back and talk to you. Miranda, what do you think will happen next?
I predict that the ant is going to be saying no because
Because what did the grasshopper ask the ant?
Some food.
He said he asked for some, or he asked for some food, and you think the ant's going to say no because he didn't tell. Okay, good prediction. Tell me what your prediction is, Andrew.
I think that he is going and it will be there
So you say that a little louder.
in his underground house.
Oh, so you predict that who will go in the underground house?
Grasshopper.
That grasshopper will get to go in the underground house because why?
It's cold outside.
Because it's cold outside. Is there a character trait you know about ant that might also help you make that prediction? You told me ant was rude earlier and mean. Do you think a rude, mean ant would say, okay, come on down to my house?
He might start being nice.
Oh, so maybe his character's going to change a little bit? His traits are going to change? Natalie.
I think he is going to
That's okay, just tell me then. Give him some
I
food.
think he is going to give him some food to eat and let him come inside his house.
So you think his character's going to change from being mean and rude and become nice? We'll have to see if he does that. That's his action, right? Tell me, what's your prediction?
You could think that he is going to say yes and it.
You think he's going to say yes and let him come down to his house and eat his food? So we have Miranda, who thinks, nope, he was kind of mean and rude. And he also says, Grasshopper didn't help me, so I'm not going to. And then you three think, oh, his character's going to change, and he's going to be nice and kind. I wonder if Grasshopper's character is going to change. So stop right there, because you're going to get to finish reading.